All right, we are back and live. We're pre-recorded. Whatever you're watching, it don't matter. You're here.
We're live, pre-recorded for
We're
them.
live.
Right.
Welcome to Inspired by True Event Sports podcast. Here, got my boy Kenny and Phil. Neil is not here. We're gonna miss him. Not. But how y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
It's a lot quieter, so we're good.
A lot quieter.
It's a wonderful day. It's draft season. I'm looking at the mock drafts. I don't even know
season.
if there's football being played this weekend or anything.
Right.
Wow.
You know.
Wait,
Justin Fields, come on home.
Wait, why aren't you gonna be watching? You're not gonna watch football this weekend?
Oh, I'm not. I'm just. It's mock draft season now, man. Like there's games,
season.
but it's all about mock drafts, baby.
You can't make me sending mock drafts back and forth.
Hey, man, I can't relate. Man. It feels good. Man. But
You'll be joining us next week.
Never. I don't think so.
We'll send you a copy of our mock draft.
I'm not gonna be thinking about no fantasy football this early, man. Not a chance. But let's get right into it, Phil. What was the pick'ems like last week on the final week of the NFL 2020 season, week 17?
Gotcha.
So what do we have?
Well, before we start, I would just like to say, Neil Furtado, I hate you for joining this podcast because since we restarted, I had a huge lead, but then we restarted. So all these dumb picks I make just to be funny, it doesn't work anymore because now I'm sitting at the bottom. I had a nice big lead and I was able to do this. Now I can't stand it. So thank you, Neil.
But I said from the beginning we should have just did percentage.
Yeah,
because you can still do it. Like. I
would love to look at the numbers after and see where I actually finished.
That's a lot of man. We use those watch hours on YouTube, man. Watch it from multiple accounts. You feel me? We'll get monetized real quick. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the bottom, Kenny, because that's what you're at currently still after last week. We have you at 16 and 19. We have Neil in third at 18 and 17. We got me at 21 and 14, and we got Lawrence still in first place with 23 and 12. So still close. So we have plenty of playoff football left to make those picks, and plus 6 games this week. So
sounds like I got to pick all upsets to catch you guys, though.
Hey.
But that's okay.
I got some. Hey, all like playoffs is. Do you consider like in the playoffs? Do you think there is really upsets besides obviously you think the Browns?
I mean,
listen, I got a couple of upset picks. I won't spoil them yet. When we get to the picks, you'll see them.
I can already tell, man. Oh man. So what we're gonna do for this is we're gonna first off, before we say the winner of each game, we're gonna say 3 words to describe the matchup or the preview of it. I think it's fun. I saw somebody doing it. I think it was a really cool idea. So let's get right to it. We have Indy and Buffalo. What we got, Kenny? What's your 3 words to describe this matchup here, and who you got?
3 words to describe the matchup: circle the wagons, because nobody.
Oh,
I'm going with Buffalo.
You got to repeat that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Neil tried calling me. He ruined it. So.
Oh man.
real quick.
Yeah. So I said, circle the wagons because nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. They're the hottest team in football right now. They made the playoffs last year, so they have the playoff experience. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Buffalo to win. I don't think that they're going to get to the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself here. But right now, they're the hottest team in football, and I don't see Indy coming into Buffalo where they're going to allow 6,700 crazy Bill fans to be in there. I'm going with Josh Allen and the boys.
Hey, all right now.
I'm going to go with my 3 words, Allen to Diggs, because that's what they've been doing all season, and that's what they're going to continue to do throughout the playoffs, and that's what's been working. So we could see Diggs go off again like he did against the Patriots or the team last week. So expect Diggs and Allen to have another great game this week.
Wow, we just I guess it's just gonna have to be for me it's gonna be the Bills, and my 3 words to describe this game. Oh man. Oh man, I don't even know. I can't. Kenny kind of took mine. I was gonna say circle the wagons. I was gonna say circle the wagons.
Maybe
But
Josh Allen MVP.
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say Josh Allen. Josh Allen dominates. That's my 3 words. Even though you can't, can you even count a name as a word? I don't know. We're not in English class,
Yeah.
so it don't matter.
And
what?
Neil just sent me his pick. He says, "You already know who I'm picking, Old Man Rivers."
3 words to describe it.
Gotcha.
All right. Going from there, we got Kenny's favorite team in the NFL outside of Atlanta, the Cleveland Browns, and we got a matchup with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So my 3 words to describe this was, it was fun. Because Cleveland, it was fun. You got to the playoffs, but it's over. Can I just point something out here? Now, we're all fans of football. Have you ever seen a team that clinches a wild card spot? Not like they're playing a division game because they won the division and they're playing wild card weekend. Like, no, they clinched a wild card spot because they have a wild card seed, like 5, 6, or 7, and they were wearing T-shirts to celebrate it. They were in the locker room with T-shirts that said "playoff pound."
Unsanctioned NFL game.
Yeah,
too.
Not even exactly. So this is the Cleveland Browns. We're excited. We're excited to be there. That should have been what the 3 words were. Excited to be here is what I should have said, because that's it. I'm sorry, they struggled to beat the Mason Rudolph led Steelers. If he throws that ball 2 inches lower, we're going to overtime. There's no chance I'm putting any faith in the Browns. And they're without Stefanski, their head coach, a couple other coaches, and they're going to be without 5 players. Sorry, not doing it. Pittsburgh Steelers win this game.
I've been debating this, but since, Lawrence has a pretty good lead, I'm going to have to go against Kenny here. So my 3 words is prove Kenny wrong, because that's what
I like it.
We know his statement was they weren't going to make the playoffs. I mean, they didn't do it in the most they didn't do it the best way, but they still made it there. And this week, I don't know how, because what Kenny said, all those coaches out and some players, but somehow they're going to pull it off. I have them winning by a late touchdown.
I can't go back on my word. I've solidified some bets. So I don't want to mess up my track record of staying true to my word. So I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. Chubb, Hunt, wow. Wow. Because that's all they're going to do is run. Because what is it, Stefanski, whatever his name is? He's not going to be there. So what does that really mean for the person that's taking over for him? They're going to probably be like, he's probably going to call them. He's probably talking to him right now. We're running the ball to the death until I get back.
Well, they better run the ball, because Baker Mayfield played against Pittsburgh backups and only threw for 196 yards last week. So again, I'm just saying, like, they won the game. They proved me wrong. I told you guys if they won, I would eat my words, and I would get on here and I would say I was wrong about you, Cleveland. You did it, and I was wrong about you, Cleveland. You did it. You made the playoffs. I got to be a man of my word. But don't tell me that was pretty. If you're truly a Cleveland Browns fan, you can't tell me you're excited about how they looked last week. And if you say you are, then you're a liar.
No, that was too close for the circumstance, to be honest. With that bum being in that quarterback, he's bad.
Right. That's my point. Mason Rudolph is. I'm not even going to get into Mason Rudolph. He's terrible. But Neil picked Pittsburgh as well, by the way.
Okay. Well, I'm glad him and Myles Garrett patched up apparently. So
yeah, that was nice to see.
All right. Going from there, we got the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. All the trash Neil has talked week in and week out since he's been on here.
Week to week.
He has to face the team he's been talking the most shit about. And if they lose, there's nothing else to say. Nothing.
Neil's quote for this, it was more than 3 words. He just sent me, "Just let it be known." This is in all caps, by the way. "Just let it be known, Rams over Seahawks all day, and it's F the Saints till death."
But like that's my thing, right? My thing is let me say something to the people.
Not even in this matchup.
Yeah, you feel me? So I don't know what it is. I rub people the wrong way where they just gotta hate anything that I like. I don't do nothing to them. I didn't cry. I didn't cry when your boy hit sticked my boy in the sideline. I never said anything about the refs. I said good game. It's a loss. Never cried as a Saints fan. But he insists on coming to me. How about you get a quarterback that can make a play for 4 quarters, Neil? You're going to watch this anyway because we already know you're going to watch it or listen to it. Get a quarterback that's not a bum. How about that?
I'm going to go with my 3 words. Russ won't cook.
Ooh.
I'm going with the Rams. I think Jalen Ramsey does enough to keep DK in check. Aaron Donald, as we all know, is a game wrecker. Leonard Floyd's having a career year lined up next to Aaron Donald. I think Sean McVay, with having his playoff experience of going and getting embarrassed by Bill Belichick, might be one of the better things that actually happened to him. Only thing that scares me is that I don't know if Jared Goff is going to be playing, but realistically, Jared Goff is just a glorified game manager. So as long as Walford doesn't blow the game, I think their defense could be good enough to keep them in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna have to be another, since trying to catch up to Lawrence and everything, I'm gonna go with everyone else here as well. I'm gonna have to go with Seattle, and my 3 words is Tyler Lockett. Since everyone's talking, this whole season's been about DK, and Tyler Lockett has been, been like not as mentioned as much as DK because he's been targeted more. So I see Tyler Lockett having a huge game since most of the attention will probably go to DK with Jalen Ramsey. So I have him maybe having over 100 yards and showing them why he's also there as a receiver.
I know what I've been saying since I was heartbroken week 6 in the overtime for $4,000 on a $5 12-part parlay. It's not 3 words. And Russ, we trust again and again. It's not going to happen. You have Wolford, Walmart, whatever his name is at quarterback. I don't know. Is not. Come on, bro. We're not going to do this. Like, it's not sustainable to go throw for 112 and an interception and win in the playoff game. It's not, unless your defense gets 3 pick sixes. It's not going to happen. Like,
but is it really impossible to say the Rams defense won't get 3 pick sixes?
That is very true, but
maybe a forced fumble here and there.
But then again, this ain't the regular season. That boy Russ, when he get into the playoffs,
you're right.
Decision making become impeccable.
He turns into Dangerous.
Like, he starts to run more. He's not. I feel like he hasn't run a lot this season either. But we're gonna see. It's gonna be definitely a game I'm gonna watch. Are they playing on Saturday or Sunday?
Let me check the schedule.
I want to say Saturday.
I believe you are correct, but let's see. Yep, Saturday at 4:40.
Yep. So they're gonna be.
That's the perfect timed game.
They're in Seattle too, so that's gonna be technically a 1:00 game for them, 4 for us.
Right.
But yeah, I got Seattle. Just like Phil said, big major. Tyler Lockett has been here. He's made big plays in the playoffs. DK is gonna be really amped up because this is his first time. Did they make the playoffs last year?
Seattle or the Rams?
Seattle
did.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't really.
It was
at that point.
Seattle that they made the playoffs for the division last year.
Okay. But this is the second time here. He's feeling himself a little bit because of the Megatron comparisons. But I think
Can I say, Lawrence? We were all right. They were too. Everyone was too quick to call him Megatron because he got off to an extreme hot tier, like we all knew, and they all crowned him the second coming. And he had a good year. Don't get me wrong, but his Megatron-like numbers completely stopped. This is why you do not crown players after 3 weeks of great play.
Yeah, and I always say I hate comparisons anyway myself because everybody different. Like he's big, fast, but like that man, Calvin Johnson, shout out to you, man, finalist for the Hall of Fame too. He would catch the ball with 4 human beings on his back.
Yeah.
Like we're never going to see that again. And the closest, the closest thing we've ever seen is the man in Atlanta. That's the closest thing we've ever seen where he can block, he can run every route on the route tree, run away from people. We're not going to see it. It's going to be tough to replicate.
Like we went from comparing DK from he's having a great second season, but what are the all-time greats in Calvin Johnson? Like there are so many other receivers that you just jumped over. Like, he's the next Calvin Johnson. Like, so what about Julio Jones? What about D-Hop? What about Devontae Adams? Like these are all guys that. So he's better than them. Like, I'm sorry, that was ridiculous.
I think it's because he's new, he's fresh, he's fun. He has a pacifier. He has a pacifier for a mouthpiece. He has the earrings, the dyed hair, all that.
He hit the New Edition dance last year in the end zone.
Oh man. But yeah, like I said, in Russ we trust in there. I think Seattle finds a way. Going from there, one of my favorite games. I can't wait for this. I can't wait. Tennessee and Baltimore. I can't wait for this. Derrick Henry, if he does this again, if he puts the team on his back, we might have to consider he's probably one of the best running backs, if not already, that we've watched. I don't know about you guys, but if he had 2,000 yards.
2,000 yards, and he needed 240 to get there. Like no one even talked about it because just like it's like, he's 240 yards. Like it's not gonna happen. And then in the third quarter, they're like, he's 20 yards away. I'm like, what?
Craziness, bro. Yeah, craziness.
How many is this? It's like his 5th season of having 2,000 or maybe like close to that many yards.
No, this was his first time ever going over 2,000.
Yeah, over. Yeah,
it was. There was like a little animation they put up. Like he did something 5 times, and then you see like the likes of Jim Brown, some other great running backs, and like doing it 3 times. I forgot what.
I think it was a number of touchdowns, and it might have been over 1,500. But this was the first time going over 2,000.
I think the last 3 years he's been over at least 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like they always compare. They compare to they say like kind of like Mark Ingram, how long it took for him to get started in the league. He was always there, but then he didn't really have the opportunities. And when he got the opportunity, then you saw what he could do. So
them Bama backs, man.
For real,
you want a good back? Call Nick Saban.
They got all of them. They got
Kenyon Drake, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, TJ Yeldon.
He was great until he ended up getting hurt in Jacksonville. But what do y'all think? What do you think about that matchup, Kenny?
Neil's got Tennessee over Baltimore. I'll give you guys that one first. And my 3 words are Lamar gets revenge. Because Lamar has not won a playoff game yet, and Tennessee spoiled his party last year. So I think Lamar comes out and the Jordan meme, and I took that personally. I think Lamar is going to take that personally and come out and go nuts. I like Baltimore to finally win, so I'm gonna give it to Lamar and the boys. I think they win this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Kenny there. My 3 words was, Kenny pretty much said it. Revenge for Lamar. So they have a chip on their shoulder for last week. They're gonna have. It's gonna be hard stopping Derrick Henry, but they're gonna have a somewhat of a more solidified game plan going in since they saw it last year already. So I have this being a close game, but I have them winning by the leg of Justin Tucker. So late field goal for the Ravens to win.
Because you don't want. There's no way if it goes to overtime. You saying it goes to overtime or they win it by a kick?
They win it by a kick.
Oh, you don't want to go to overtime and have Tennessee get the ball.
Sidebar: They did go to overtime this year, and Tennessee got the ball, and Derrick Henry scored a rushing touchdown.
You're not going to see the ball back. That's the thing. But man, what about Tannehill, man? Did you see him late in the game last week?
Yep.
He checked out of a lot of plays. He pulled a couple read options, like perfect every single time. Like he scored a late touchdown too. But for me, I want Baltimore so bad, but Tennessee.
What's your bet telling you?
Tennessee. Oh yeah. It's already locked. I'm going with Tennessee here. I already had said it I think one of the posts I shared on Facebook. I'm gonna try to stay sturdy to my picks because I feel like go with the first instinct. Because if you go back on it, you're like, damn, I should have bet that. But I think Tennessee wins this. I think they win this by 4. I think it is a low scoring game. I think it's gonna be a bunch of field goals, a few touchdowns, and a bunch of field goals where people get into the red zone. But the thing about Lamar is he has 46 touchdowns in the red zone. So that means when he touches the 20-yard line
in zero turnovers
in their territory, that means he scores. He has no turnovers. That's spooky. Like, and he does it. He as soon as he gets into the red zone, it's a score.
Bringing up his stats.
You know what?
He's about to change.
I'm changing. I'm going Baltimore because Baltimore's run game is absolutely violating the last 6 weeks. I don't know if people have been watching. They ran
J.K. Dobbins.
They ran for what, 400 last week? I think 400 with 3 people total. So I don't know. And another thing is they don't have Mark Ingram in the mix. It's just Edwards, Dobbins, and then Lamar. So I'm going with Lamar. I'm going with Baltimore. I'm switching it up. I said I wasn't going to do that, but I have to because I want to see Lamar win so bad. I think, like I said, I think if Baltimore can get a lead, that forces Tannehill to make some tough throws and things like that. So I can see it on both sides, why each team will win, but I'm going to go with Baltimore on this one. I think it's going to be by 4 points or, like you said, Phil, a kick, because a lot of these playoff games, it's really not a blowout usually.
These teams are so similar where if they get down by multiple scores, it's almost like you got them beat because they rely so heavily on the run game. Like that's what happened last year. That's why Baltimore lost the game, was because Tennessee stepped on their throat and went up multiple scores, and they completely took Lamar's running out of the game. If Tennessee does that again, then yeah, like you said, I'll be nervous. But if Baltimore does it, but the thing that's crazy with Tennessee is we've seen this happen with them, and they still just keep feeding Derrick Henry, and they still come back. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a team that is so run heavy that can be down 3 possessions and still ain't out the game. But yeah,
that's what it means to go to your best players. Like,
oh yeah,
if you been going to them all season and this shit's been working, and you just disappear on them in the playoffs, that wouldn't make no sense whatsoever.
No, 100%.
Like, live and die by your best players, man. All right. Y'all ready to kill me? I already know the nonsense is coming.
We already know Neil's pick.
We got the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. Don't disrespect. Kenny, what do you have? Enough is enough.
Neil says Bears over New Orleans. Neil says.
Yep. You are, Kenny, for picking against the Saints when they have been in the highlighted pick'ems. You are 0 for whatever.
Right, because I've even picked them. Wait, even when I picked them, I'm wrong. So it doesn't matter. Think about that. I picked him, so so you should hope that I don't pick you. Is what you should hope.
No.
My 3 words are you ready? Drew's last ride. It ends on Sunday.
Wow.
Listen to the list of the last 3 quarterbacks you've lost to in the playoffs. Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Case Keenum. We're going to add one Mitch Trubisky to the list this week. 4 mediocre guys are going to be the reason why Drew Brees did not get another ring. And I will not be more excited than to save you a spot on the couch right next to me, Lawrence.
I'm so disappointed.
Oh, you shouldn't be, Lawrence. You knew it was coming.
I'm so disappointed.
Khalil Mack is going to live in the backfield. David Montgomery is going to have a field day. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
They're going to have a field day on the top 5 rushing defense.
Listen, man. When the Saints get to the playoffs, they're not the same team.
Oh my goodness!
What you could be a week-to-week fan, but history tells you.
No, that's just out the window. This is out the window. It's Super Bowl time.
So history tells you when the Saints get to the playoffs, something happens, and it just all goes to shit. And it's gonna happen this week. Mitch Trubisky gets his first playoff wins.
I'm so disappointed.
Well, the chat's going to be entertaining during that game.
Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, my 3 words is going to be Saints redemption song, because we, like Kenny mentioned, we've seen this all too many times, and the Saints
since 2017.
They should be able to get at least one win in the playoffs as of late, or at least have a successful playoff run. And I think this year is the year, with Drew Brees possibly, leaving after this year. So they deserve at least one good playoff run. It depends on the team, but I think it'll happen, since they're going to force Trubisky to make some throws, and we all know how Mitch Trubisky's record is. So I have them winning by a touchdown.
Not too confident there.
Who?
A touchdown.
No, only a touchdown.
That's 6 points.
Yeah, it's one possession.
It's gonna be a lot closer.
Oh man, we got the best roster in football. Mike T is Mike. Yeah, what? Why not?
I'm not sure if you've met this team from Kansas City, but
they make that shit look beautiful. I'm talking about from top to bottom. The roster is beautiful in New Orleans,
and it's very beautiful in Kansas City. Yeah,
because you watch how they play.
It was a beautiful roster when Alex Smith was there. Mahomes just took them to the next level.
Oh man, listen, Saints got one of the most crazy rosters in the league. I'm not gonna take that. I'm gonna give you to Chiefs because Chiefs are the Chiefs, reigning champs. Blah 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 blah. But me personally, I think that the Saints have the best roster in football, from top to bottom. D ends, D tackles, linebackers, safeties. Corners.
They're not better. Chris Jones is a better D tackle. Frank Clark is a very comparable D end to what you got.
The Saints
they got better quarterback, better running back. The receiving core as a whole is better.
You said the better what? Better running back?
Well, as the running back unit. Kamara is a better player.
Kamara and Latavius, you don't watch the whole games though. You don't watch. I'm not gonna blame you.
I would take Bell and CEH over just the two of them over Kamara and Murray. I would take Kamara over everybody in that group, but I take the committee in Kansas City.
No way. Okay, what are you saying? As deep as going to the third, because they go to the third and fourth running backs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like because they have because they're deeper is what I'm saying. Kamara is the best player.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that because I just can't agree. You also have I'm gonna just throw it in there just because if you want to talk about third depth at running back, you can say Taysom Hill, and then they're not better than them. So
Taysom Hill,
you can consider him a running back because he comes in there as quarterback power and his money. But going like you said, D ends, you got
they're comparable.
Got Davenport, you have Cam Jordan, you have Trey Hendrickson, you have Shai Tuttle, you have Sheldon Rankins. The Saints defensive line is like 5, 6, 7 deep. People don't really realize that. So I don't know. I watch these little things. But Kwan Alexander going down too was big because that was crushing, tearing his Achilles. But for the Saints, who that nation, man? Who that nation? Plain and simple. Saints come in, they're home. And me personally, I think they come out and they dominate. From the kickoff when the ball goes in the air and whoever catches it, if we play defense first or offense first, it don't matter. Mitchell is not going to know what hit him. He's going to probably be knocked out the game by the third quarter. The DBs are on a mission too. Shout out to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for getting punts the last time they played him. He's been charged up on Twitter. So I'm going to take the Saints by 2 possessions.
It'd be funny if Nick Foles comes out of nowhere and just saves the Bears.
No. Nick Foles doesn't want no smoke. Because Nick Foles saw the Saints in 2018, Eagles would not win a thing. That team was not that good.
Nick Foles almost beat you this year. They upgraded the quarterback position. Just saying.
almost don't matter at this point.
That's what I'm saying. He's not the quarterback anymore. They upgraded the position.
Because if
they were a quarterback away.
Daniel Jones almost beat the Rams and Bucks. It don't matter now anymore. They're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one a little bit.
All right, but going from the last game, big upset. We got one more game.
Oh, just one. I'll tell you tomorrow.
Yeah, this one. We got Tampa Bay against the Washington football team. So who we got? What you thinking, Kenny? What you thinking over there?
I'll go. Neil has football team over Tampa Bay, and I'm going back to Tampa because you're losing. What Chase Young say? I want Tom. Give me Tom Brady. I love it, young man.
And then all the old heads. Watch what you wish for, but they have acted like they have not watched him dominate tackles, play in and play out all season.
The only one who I saw who loved it was my man Nick Wright on First Things First. That's why I love the guy. He said that's great. He goes, and guess what? When Chase Young gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, we're gonna look back on this and say his rookie year, he called out the greatest to ever do it. I completely agree. That's the confidence you want to see out of a guy like that. Even if they come out and get punched in the mouth, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see him running scared saying, I don't want to play Tom Brady. No. And I love Washington football team, their makeup to beat Tampa Bay because they're just going to get after the quarterback. And Tom Brady in his old age has shown if you get in his face, he cannot make plays. So
time and time again.
Exactly.
That is the formula to stopping that man. You get face, he does not want to be a quarterback anymore.
And yes, that's everyone. Well, that's every quarterback's weakness. Yes, you're right. But the difference in how well he plays when he has a clean pocket and how bad he plays when he doesn't have a clean pocket is huge. So as long as you get in his face, which I think they're going to be able to do, I think they're going to keep this game close enough. And if you let a team like Washington hang around long enough to believe that they can win the game, they will win the game. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to win this one late by 3 or 4. I don't know if they'll kick a field goal to win it or if they'll have to score a touchdown at the
end. Yep. What you got?
My 3 words is going to be TB squared. So technically 3 words, but 2 or 3 letters.
No, that's fine.
I got Tampa Bay winning in the close one because at the end of the day, Washington, they're a decent football team, but we got to remember the NFC East is still a trash or not as good division as everyone else, and they're still under 500, so they're not as good as almost advertised. Because I like them. They have good defense, like Kenny said, but I believe it's going to be a game where Tampa gets a huge lead, maybe like 20 something, and then Washington comes back, but they fall short at the very end. So I have them doing that type of game, and Tom Brady makes enough plays for them to win the game, but maybe an error here or 2 there. So I got Tampa Bay in a close one.
This is why I've been hearing all season. One thing in the playoffs, it's 2 things that travel well. It's a running game. Defense always travels in the playoffs. Always travels. The Monstars are coming. These guys are 7 roster spots deep on the defensive line. That means that there's gonna be 3 fresh bodies coming. Like, have you guys ever watched the Washington game?
Yes, numerous times.
Have you seen I don't know who the DN coach is or what the D-line coach, but the way
he needs to have a head coaching job next year.
The way he rotates them, this should be illegal to have this many defensive ends at this caliber. Like, he had Ryan Kerrigan come and finish the game off last week, and Ryan Kerrigan, I did not see him on the field the entire game. Like, that means that he's going with 5 guys, and then he has 6, 7, 8 to come and finish you off. That's scary. I think Washington team, they win this in a big, shocking fashion. I think it's going to be I'm going with 2 possessions, at least 9 points. I think they'll win by at least 9 points. I think they find a way to get a turnover by the hands of Tom Brady or Rojo. I feel like Rojo gets like a fumble 6 or something when they're backed up, and then it gets the Washington team going. So that's what I'm going with for that. But what's your guys' favorite game that you guys are gonna be watching for Saturday or Sunday?
That one right there.
That one?
I want to see what that defense does with Tom Brady. I love that defense, and I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. Well, I think it's going to be a boring game. I don't think it's going to be a lot of scoring but I think it's going to be fun to watch Tom Brady get thrown around like a rag doll. Because also, too, what people aren't really bringing up is Mike Evans. That injury looked ugly against Atlanta. Like they're saying it's a day-to-day thing. There's no structural damage, but he couldn't even stand up on that leg. So if he's going to play Sunday, which it sounds like he's going to play, or Saturday, whenever the game is, it's not going to be a 100% Mike Evans. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out.
Bruce Arians got the nerve to say Mike Evans at 80% is better than majority of the league or something dumb like that. He must be covering up because everybody saw that. I even know as a football player, if my leg goes like that, I'm concerned. And nobody's like pushing me or touching me or anything. That's the worst thing.
He tried to stand on it 3 times and kept falling down. So I don't understand. I don't know. There's no way you can tell me that he's going to be good to go at 100% or even 80% on Saturday. It's not. I don't believe it.
You think he's be more of a decoy then?
Yeah, if they throw him out there.
Yeah,
but
if he might, bro, that was nasty. Like his knee went at like a whole bend. Like body's not supposed to go like that. I don't know. I was watching that just from the red zone and they kept playing it. I'm like, oh no.
He was wide open and dropped the ball. Like if it wasn't that bad of an injury, he still would have caught the ball and been hurt. Like he was wide open and dropped the ball. That's how bad he hurt his leg. So I don't know. Not a good look if you're the Bucks.
So my pick of the week for the games will probably be the Rams versus Seattle, because knowing all 3 of us and Neil, the group chat will be on fire during that entire game, especially if the Rams are losing. So that's the game I'm looking forward to this week.
Big loss by the Rams. Big loss for sure. They're out of here. Get Walmart out of there too. Wally World. What's his first name?
Wolf of Wall Street.
John. Yeah, John Walmart. You out of there. It's over for you. You're done. For me, it's gonna be Tennessee and Baltimore. I don't know I think it's the jerseys for Baltimore for me. I just love seeing the all black jerseys. Like I don't know what it is. I kind of wanted. I was actually in the mall and I wanted to buy a Lamar Jackson jersey, but then I remembered I only got like a Kamara jersey, and it'll be like treason if I don't buy another Saints jersey. So, and I still gotta buy Tom Brady's jersey. That's what I was actually looking for. I was in the mall. I was hoping that they had like a throwback or something. They didn't have it because I gotta hold to my word,
And Lawrence is the jinx. Anytime he gets a Saints player jersey, they get shipped away.
I got Kamara.
No, but before that, Jimmy Graham gone, Reggie Bush gone.
I missed that Reggie Bush jersey.
Yeah.
My dumb ass went and played football with that shit and they got ripped. I'm mad. Reggie was the man, for real. So what upsets do you think is gonna happen? Kenny, outside of the nonsense you said, because that's a real upset. The Bears and the Saints. It's preposterous.
Well, I picked the football team over Tampa Bay, but I talked about that one a lot. And I picked Baltimore over Tennessee. I don't know who's favored in that, but Tennessee is the division winner, so technically I guess that's an upset. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I feel like the only games that would be real upsets would be if Washington won or if Chicago won, because everything else, I mean, everyone's pretty evenly matched at this point. So
yeah, right now, Baltimore is favored to win.
Yeah, see, so like they're the underdog, like their seed makes them an underdog, but it's not even an upset. So the only 2 upsets I picked, I guess, would be Chicago and Washington.
Oh, the kicker, Gakowski, he's got COVID. That's why he was out, and they got
Sloman from the Rams.
Almost cost him everything.
Well, almost cost him, but you know what he did cost Derrick Henry? Eric Dickerson's record. I didn't even notice it. I was listening to some sports podcast, and they were saying if they went to overtime and Derrick Henry got the ball, he was in like spitting distance of catching Eric Dickerson for the rushing record.
Yeah, because it was like 2109, I think. Because I looked it up during the game. I think that was his from scrimmage.
So that would have been kind of crazy if they went to overtime and Derrick Henry broke the record.
Yeah, facts. We got another thing coming as far as draft. Everybody's settling in for their picks. We got the Eagles throwing games because they really suck. What do y'all think about the coaching vacancies that are coming up? And who do you think are some good candidates for those jobs? So we got the Jets, we got the Chargers,
Jags,
and then the Jags,
and the Falcons, and the Texans,
Falcons and Texans. So we got 5 jobs open,
and
right
the
now.
Lions,
and the Lions. 6 jobs open right now. 6 out of the 30 in
32.
the league? 32 in the league. So who do you guys think are some good candidates for like each spot? I don't know if you guys know like all the candidates. I heard they said Urban Meyer is asking for a bag.
Yeah, but then Urban Meyer's people came out and said that's not true. So I don't know if that's someone leaking it. It might be someone in Jacksonville leaking it, hoping that no one else reaches out to Urban Meyer too. Because I hear that Jacksonville is all in on Urban Meyer because they said if they couldn't get him, they wanted Ryan Day, the Ohio State coach, and he came out that same day and said, "I'm not leaving Ohio State, so get that out your mind right now." But Urban Meyer,
because there's a setup going up there. They're gonna get one season, and then they're like, "Oh, you can't coach."
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know if I like Urban Meyer at the NFL level, to be honest with you. Like, he's a guy who, because even in college, like, he's great, but only for a certain amount of time. Like, he becomes stale. So I don't know how he would work with professional grown men.
Yeah.
But I like Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs offensive coordinator. I liked him a lot, obviously, for Atlanta, but as an Atlanta fan, we never get the number one coaching option. So I've taken that out of my head.
Yeah.
I think for him, honestly, the best situation to go
to. What's his roots though?
Well, he's a Andy Reid guy, but he played for the Chargers, who have an opening with a phenomenal young quarterback, Justin Herbert, and he's a running back guy, and he's got Austin Eckler there.
Mm-hmm.
I think, to me, that's a match made in heaven. Now, does it suck that you have to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year? Yeah, but who's most likely to stop him would be the guy that's coached him for 3 years. So if I'm Bieniemy, I probably would go to LA because your quarterback situation is solved. I like the Atlanta job too for a lot of people because you have Matt Ryan now and the number 4 picks. You can get your quarterback. But looking at it unbiased, I think the Chargers might be the best job on the market.
Yeah, definitely. Because you got where you don't have to use a draft pick on a quarterback. You got your guy right there. You can keep building around him, and you already got pieces too.
Yeah, you just gotta wait for that defense to be healthy, since the defense really took a hit last year and it caused them a lot of close games.
Definitely.
And the offense with Keenan Allen, you already got a good quarterback set, Eckler and Justin Jackson. You just need someone to fill in that spot of coach. Maybe Saleh from the 49ers, since their defense was really struggling. Maybe you could bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that guy's pretty much loved around the league, so anywhere he's going to make an impact on them. So.
Side note about Saleh, they said that he already made it known to everyone in his interviews. The guy who's going to be his offensive coordinator is a guy who's a positions coach in San Francisco who runs the same offense that Kyle Shanahan ran, which has been phenomenal in the NFL. RG3 had all-pro year with it. Matt Ryan had his MVP season with it. Jimmy G got a bag because of it. I mean, that's the offense that's taken off in the NFL right now. So Robert Saleh is really picking up a lot of steam in a lot of teams because they know we're going to get the defensive guy and we're going to get a great offense coming with it.
He could be a Falcon. Who knows?
Honestly, they just interviewed him yesterday, and it's looking like a strong possibility. But I think he might actually end up in Detroit because Detroit is really looking for a defensive-minded guy.
Yeah, they need someone to help Jeff Okudah and that defense out.
Yeah,
they still have Trey Flowers, I believe, too. So it's not a bad defense.
Three names that I kind of was seeing too in some articles. One that I just saw now was you got Greg Roman. He's the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. You hear his name a lot. You got Byron Leftwich. Bruce Arians has always said, like, all his guys, he wants to keep building them up so they can go get head coaching jobs, and he's getting a lot of minorities under him too. And then you also have one guy that I kind of have a love-hate with because he's one of the coaches on my team, is Dennis Allen. He's a DC for the Saints. And he calls good games. I feel like sometimes he can be inconsistent in close games, but for the most part, he's helped put together that defense. You went got Lattimore, Davenport, Hendrickson, Alex Anzalone, like so.
Yeah. Also, side note, his name always pops up in the offseason or during the playoffs. Josh McDaniels from the Patriots. Everyone usually needs an offensive mind, and I don't know if he's committed to the Patriots 100%, but he's also going to be a name that everyone's going to throw in there as well.
I'm glad you said that, Phil, because Dennis Allen and Josh McDaniels remind me of very similar guys where I think they're great coordinators. I don't think they work as head coaches. Yep. Dennis Allen, we saw him in Oakland. He was awful. I mean, granted, it was Oakland. Like, no one was really doing well in Oakland, but just it was bad. Like, they weren't even competitive. And we saw McDaniel in Denver, exactly. Granted, his quarterback was Kyle Orton. I'll give you that. But still, it wasn't good. I think those are two guys that thrive only having to worry about one side of the ball. I don't think that they're ready to run a whole team yet.
Yep.
And Byron Leftwich is a guy that I remember when the Falcons first fired Dan Quinn. I mentioned his name because I thought that the Bucs were going to take off and he was going to gain a lot of steam. I think the Bucs and the whole Tom Brady controversy of is he calling plays, is he not calling plays, I think that really hurt Byron Leftwich this year, and I think we'd be hearing his name a lot more if it weren't for that.
Yeah, I think that was going to happen regardless, because the media they're going to push whatever they want. Oh, Tom has got it. Tom is the greatest ever, so he's got to be doing whatever he wants. So I think that was going to happen. Whoever was the offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Then you got Jason Garrett too, who's getting some steam. He's getting some steam again. I don't know this boys club. Like I don't.
Doesn't make sense to me. Is he was bad in Dallas in
a decade,
and then the Giants just went 6-10. It's not like he turned the Giants around. Like I could understand if he turned them around, but if he ends up being the coach, if the Falcons hire Jason Garrett, I'm not watching football. What's today? January 5th at 9:56 p.m. If the Falcons hire Jason Garrett, I'm no longer watching professional football because it's ridiculous. The man should not be sniffing a head coaching job, and he's getting interviews. What?
You have an interview with right now? Was it the Lions or someone else?
No, it was the Chargers.
Chargers. He's gonna go there and ruin them.
What? If you have a young quarterback, why are you bringing this guy in?
Well, my thing is too. I don't know. Sometimes, like, I don't know, because Dallas. Now I'm thinking about Dallas. Right? Was it really him? Because we're seeing them. They have their roster is phenomenal. They got the players, but they're hot garbage. At this point, I don't think we can blame the coaches any further. Because Mike McCarthy has 1 year, but then they say, oh, this is what's going to happen. Oh, they're going to be great now. And they get there, and they're just bad. Like, the defense is bad.
Okay, granted, but Jason Garrett went to New York this year, and Daniel Jones got worse.
That is true. He did get worse.
Daniel Jones played more games and had worse numbers this year.
Oh, yeah. They were struggling a bit with Dak, too. They had to come back from games, like, late as well, so.
Like you said, some of these coaches like are better as compartment coaching. Yeah, like when they coach, they're not made to be the head of everything because that's way more pressure to actually do that. Like you need personalities like BA. Like BA will call out any player on the roster and he does not care. And some coaches won't even do that. Like Sean Payton will call out a player on the roster, like that he doesn't care. Bill Belichick, he will get up there with the player in the press conference and say, "You suck. You need to do better."
Dark horse candidate this year is Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from Carolina. He's been getting a lot of interview requests the past couple of days. I think it's pretty early to be giving him head coaching jobs because he was literally just the pass game coordinator at LSU last year, offensive coordinator this year, and now he might be a head coach next year. But everyone's looking for the next McVay. And I guess when you look at it, though, it is kind of impressive that with that offense minus Christian McCaffrey this year, he had 3 receivers go for over 1,000 yards, and Mike Davis went for over 1,000 yards. So that's 4,000-yard guys in your offense. And realistically, Teddy Bridgewater had an awful year in comparison to last year. So I got to give the guy his credit. He is doing something right. So maybe teams are just trying to strike now before his name becomes huge. So
Yeah, shout out.
we'll see.
Even though I don't want to shout them out because they in the NFC South, but I don't like the Panthers. They make me nervous.
Yeah, no.
I don't
The
know
thing is,
their defense
the
is super
Panthers have been
young
like
too.
they're like how the Bucks were for a while. Like, they're up and coming. They're up and coming. But when are they gonna? I don't know when they're gonna be
when
here.
they're gonna show up.
Yeah.
And what's the name got his money if he gets hurt next year? Gotta start talking about it because it's gonna be. Is he gonna be another Zeke where he gonna stop running as fast, stop breaking tackles, stop juking?
Yeah,
that running back life is tough, and I think they were holding him out on purpose.
Yes,
I think 100% they were holding him out. I think he was ready to go, and they said there's no point.
Yeah, okay, just a slight note about Zeke. I think they showed during one of the games is like ever since he got drafted, Zeke's like yards total has been going down not almost, but like every single year it's been going down and down and down and down. So
that's what happens. Like when people watch the game, he get like they think the money, the contract equals their body. Their body is not that $90 million, that $100 million. He touched the ball how many times in his first 3 years? 1,200. That's grown.
Right. It's almost like
that's grown men hitting you over and over and over and over again.
Like when you're a running back, you're going for your contract, you're looking to get compensated for what happened to you prior. Like you're not like, pay me because this is what I'm going to do. It's like, no, pay me because it's what you put me through. Like when you're a quarterback or another position, it's like, well, if you pay me, I'm going to be great for still 5 more years. No, running back is like, I've been great for 5 years. You've been paying me pennies. Pay up because I'm about to get run off the field.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like we saw it with Zeke. We saw it with Todd Gurley.
It's just what it is what it is. Like that's how it is. But I think it's I think as a running back position, me playing it and shit like that, it's tough to watch how they do things because it's the position is so important, but they make it so small. Like it matters so much. Like Derrick Henry is showing that. Like he has the Titans on his back. Without Derrick Henry, what do you get the Titans wins year in and year out?
We've seen the Titans without Derrick Henry. It's when they had Marcus Mariota and Deion Lewis. They right, exactly. We've seen it 11,
before. Looking real bad out there. 6-10 at best. Man, oh man. But going from there, man. We got what is Black Monday?
That's all the coaches being fired on the Monday after the last game.
That's what they call it.
It's like Black Friday. Yeah, they call it Black Monday because the Monday. Yeah, the Monday after Week 17, they fire all them damn coaches.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Wow.
Like 2 coaching games. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
We switched it up.
We got to talk about that's not on the list.
What?
We got to talk about the New York Giant fans really being upset that the Eagles didn't put them in the playoffs. Because I'm really confused, Giant fans.
It wasn't on the schedule, but Kenny said make space for it.
We gotta make space for it because I'm just really wondering. I had to sit up in my chair.
Hold on, he sat up in the chair
because I'm really just wondering how you're really gonna be upset at the Eagles.
Zoom in
now, first of all, even if we keep Jalen Hurts in the game, we only are 5-9-1. It's not like we were a great team, anyways. You're gonna be mad at me. Because I didn't beat someone and finish your dirty work when you finished 6-10. Do you know what that means, New York? That means you won 6 games and you lost 10. Do you know how you could have got to the playoffs? One of those 10 games, just one. Score more points than the other team. I don't know. Maybe it's a crazy concept.
Or at least tie.
But or even tie. But if my team is 6-10, I can't fix my fingers to go on Twitter and Facebook and cry that another team blew it for me. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Yeah. And everyone, Peterson blew the game. He was trying to give it up. I mean, honestly, yeah, he probably did. I'm not going to say he didn't.
That's smart.
But let's be real too. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback before. Like he probably thought, like I'm going to outsmart them. I'm putting Nate Sudfeld, and we're going to win this game. And I'm going to go down as the greatest coach ever. Like the guy, he's arrogant. Like he wrote a book on being a winner after he won a Super Bowl in his second year. Like what else have you accomplished, bro? Like that's his personality. So I'm not blaming Doug Peterson. I'm not blaming Philly. It's whatever. We've seen teams tank all the time. Pittsburgh benched all their starters and no one cared because they were locked in the playoffs. So because the Eagles don't have a game next week, they're just supposed to try to help you get in the playoffs? No, sir. Win more football games.
Win more football games. Plain and simple. I'm tired of hearing the Giants fans. I'm tired of hearing, shout out the Washington football team. Those fans, they've been through a lot. They got their logo stripped, bad quarterback after bad quarterback.
RG3 go down.
Like their quarterback, that is their quarterback now, almost ended his life was almost ended. He almost had to get his shit amputated. Like you hear, and I know a couple of Redskins or football team fans. My fault, but the Cowboys fans, the Eagles fans, and the Giants fans. Let me tell you something. Y'all are the worst sports fans on the planet Earth of all sports that are played at the professional level. I don't think there's any more fans that are more entitled to winning when they haven't won anything. And I'm gonna play a what if scenario here, because if Diggs doesn't go down that sideline, you guys don't win a Super Bowl because you're not beating the Saints. The Saints would have beat the dog shit out of you guys. You guys have not had any type of consistency since winning that Super Bowl. I am tired of it. I'm sick of it. Giants fans too. You guys,
I said it before. I'll say it again. The worst thing that happened for Philly was winning the Super Bowl.
A lot of teams. The only team that we've seen remain dominant, or we're gonna see it again. You got the Chiefs now. The Chiefs keeping the roster together. People are taking pay cuts because they know the greater good. And the Patriots dynasty, over and over again. Bill's like, we're gonna win. We don't need you anyway. I'll send you to the Bill. I'll send you to the Browns. They're 0-16. I don't care. I don't need you. I'm gonna win anyway. Like that's how the coaches need to be versus sacrificing the entire future for the taking all this money from the team, bro. Like for me personally, if I'm in that situation, I'll be like, I'm trying to win. When it's all said and done, and you're a starter or something, or you're impactful on the team, I'm gonna take the pay cut because I want to win. But when you win the Super Bowl, we've seen it for how many years? The teams are never hurt again, or they go into rebuild mode after 2 years.
Because they pay all their old guys that won them the Super Bowl thinking they're going to run it back again. It hurts, but sometimes you got to say thank you for your service. Time to get out of here.
The Eagles roster is just
it's old too, like
horrible.
Jason Peters,
the roster is, and they want to, and they say they can win. It's horrible. Free my man Wentz, man. Wentz for president. Free my man. Y'all do not deserve him as a quarterback, as a player. You guys do not. Don't. You don't. You see what Aguilar did? Aguilar went for 900.
Yep.
900. He left y'all, and he did better because you guys were the problem.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw. There was like a report that the relationship between Wentz and Philly might be saved or something like that.
Well, I didn't see it was saved, but I saw that Howie Roseman said he didn't think it was beyond repair, so he wasn't getting rid of him yet. But whatever that means. But just want to jump back to the Giants quick because Lawrence was saying about how they're entitled and everything, and I was also as I was doing my research and looking at stuff too, like, do we all realize the Bears were only 8-8 and got the last wild card spot? So if you really were that good or that got the. All you had to do was win 8 games to push the Bears. So you only won 6 games. Shut up. You lost your division, and you weren't even good enough to compete for a wild card spot. And the last wild card spot was only 8 wins. So that's really what blew my mind. I was like, you know what? The Bears only did 8-8. If you were that good, you would have caught the Bears. So you couldn't catch the football team. You couldn't catch the Bears, but you needed the 5-9-1 team led by a backup quarterback anyways to win the game.
A backup quarterback.
That's like, see, if Jalen Hurts they act like Jalen Hurts was a proven, this guy, he's going to win every game he's in. He only played 3 weeks anyways, and he had 2 good weeks and 1 mediocre week.
If they have the same roster, I'm sorry, they're gonna run him out of town too. He's gonna be, if it's the same roster, you have Jason Peters that's holding your left tackle spot hostage right now. He wants like a 25-year-old left tackle premier Tyrone Smith contract. Like, bro, he's insane.
They're already running Jalen Hurts out of town. I've already seen people that are Eagle fans that were calling for Wentz's job, saying, I want Wentz back. Wentz is my quarterback. Bro, 3 weeks ago it was Hurts for president, and Hurts is my quarterback. Now, because we saw that it wasn't Carson Wentz that was the problem, right? Almost like the rest of the world's been trying to tell you for the whole season, right? Please, the biggest fair weather fans I've ever seen live in that division. And Giant fans, another thing, bro. Mid-season, you guys told me we suck, we're tanking, we're gonna get a top 10 draft pick. Now all of a sudden we're max to make the playoffs. Which one is it?
That sounds familiar, but I agree.
It does sound familiar, Phil. They sound like you.
The mid-low tier high.
Mid-level.
But like they had 3 wins and they were all, this season's over, we suck, yada yada yada. And then last week I see them all on Facebook. Fly Eagles, fly! Fly Eagles, fly! We're going to the playoffs. And Eagles, you cheat! Like, come on, bro. Which one? You guys said you were done watching football. For people that are done watching football, you got real upset Sunday night.
It's true.
All right, do you guys see what Eli Manning said?
Oh my goodness, that mediocre bum.
Oh, hilarious.
Oh, this is why we hate the Eagles.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Nonsense, bro. Nonsense. Why'd you hold the New York Giants hostage for the last 3 years of your career, or the 4 years? Come on, man. You should have left. You were terrible. This is why we don't like the Giants. Come on, man.
I think someone retweeted it too. I think one of the Eagles players.
Yeah, because I think it was like Saquon or Darius Slayton like tweeted like, "What am I watching right now?" And then he replied with, "This is why we hate the Eagles." And then like I think an Eagle player went back. Torrey Smith put it perfect too. Torrey Smith tweeted today too because he's been seeing everyone go out there talking about they ruined the integrity of the game. He said it perfectly. He said he's been on plenty of teams that week 17 were not playing for a playoff spot, and he said they were not into that game at all. So any of these former players that are talking like Doug Peterson committed some sort of mortal sin is lying to the public.
Yeah. Say it's like unwritten rule or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially if it was like in your division. They're gonna do everything in their power, especially if they don't really like each other. Because Washington really doesn't have rivalry with the other 3. Like they're just there.
Right. Like they don't like them obviously, but like it's not as big as the other 3.
But like if the Eagles or the Cowboys got a chance to screw over the Giants, that's what they're gonna do that.
Listen, if the Falcons were in a situation where if we had a win to get the Saints in, I would pray that the Falcons did everything in their power to lose that week. Why do I want to be the reason you got in the playoffs? Do you know how terrible that is? I ruined my draft pick and I get to watch my rival play in the playoffs next week? What? Nah, not happening.
Man. Any so in closing, any words for the people? I know Kenny just had to address the NFC Leafs fans out there. Y'all got any last words for playoff week coming up?
Fields for president.
Fuck the Rams.
Fields for presidents. Me said what?
Fuck the Rams.
Let's go.
Neil.
Yeah, shout out to Phil for picking the Saints when it was the pick'ems. You feel me? All season, holding it down. I see you, bro. I see you.
He's trying to get on your good side.
I'm trying to make sure I'm still employed by IBTE. That's why.
But you get a check for this?
We'll talk later.
Hey man, listen. We working. Don't listen. It's coming. But like I said, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, rocking with us. Man, what are we? How many episodes deep we are for the NFL? We started week 3. We started a little bit late.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And now we're on to, so we're at 16?
16. Wow. We made it, man. We're improving the quality of this every time. I hope COVID gets a little bit better to where we can actually meet up when everybody's comfortable with that. That's gonna be fun in person. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna probably have to sit across from Neil because if he's sitting next to me, I might punch him or slap him.
That's why we had the IRL sports.
The IRL sports coming soon. He said, Kenny. He said he wants to see route running against Neil. You and Neil. route run. Catch it.
Y'all don't want to see this dad bod in action.
Hey man, you get to watch Julio every week. You should have good route running.
Forget Julio, Kelvin, baby, best route runner in the league.
Hey, that's my guy. All right, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning into IBTE Sports Spycast. We'll catch you at another date. Ooh.